Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. We've previously shown how Angela Constance was up in arms about Westminster creating a law that exonerated all the postmasters caught up in the Horizon scandal. And she was saying that it was wrong that the UK were only doing it for England and Wales, and it should have been for all of Great Britain. Well, England and Wales, they prosecuted them under the CPS, under the Crown Prosecution Service, whereas in Scotland, they were prosecuted by the Scottish Government. It's an entirely separate legal system from England. So it can't be England wanting to exonerate them in Scotland. After all, it wasn't the English courts that prosecuted. It was Scotland. And so it's up to Scotland, with its separate legal system, to do this. To do otherwise would be very, very weird, because then they'd be saying, despite all their constant clamouring for independence, they want Westminster to override the powers of Holyrood on this matter. Inconsistent, hypocritical. No, not really. We'll have a look at why when we get into the article. Because after Angela Constance's attempt at this, now Humza Yousaf is stepping in. But of course, people are seeing straight through him because, well, we know why. We'll discuss it. Here goes. So, victims will see through Humza Yousaf's petty posturing on Post Office Horizon exonerations. Now, in England and Wales, of course, they were prosecuted by the English legal system. In Scotland, they were prosecuted by the Scottish legal system. And that's the problem Humza Yousaf has. Because in England and Wales, the legal system is independent from government. The executive and the judiciary are clear-cut independent of each other. Whereas in Scotland, the judiciary is only a department of the executive. There's no differentiation. And so effectively, it was the Scottish government that were prosecuting these people. And so when the Scottish government has to create this rule to exonerate them, what it's saying is the SNP got it wrong. And they don't like admitting getting it wrong. And that, of course, is why they want the UK legislation to cover the whole of Scotland. But the UK aren't falling into that trap. They're saying, no, that was the Scottish system. Unless you want to hand over justice in Scotland to Westminster. Now, of course, they don't want to be doing that at all, do they? Because if they can't control justice in Scotland, someone might find them guilty. Anyway, the SNP leader wants UK legislation to cover Scotland, despite previously moaning about alleged interference from ministers in devolved areas. But now we know why. It's because he doesn't want to have to admit that they got it wrong. Victims of the Post Office Horizon scandal will see right through Humza Yousaf's petty posturing on the issue of mass exonerations, according to the Scottish Tories. The First Minister said on Wednesday that the UK government should include Scotland in its Horizon bill. Now, we've talked about the problems of the Scottish legal system before, indeed, with Roger Livermore, who, just as an aside, I will hopefully be meeting this week coming. I believe it's this week coming. We're going to hopefully do a head-to-head, and if I can get down, we can do a little bit. It'll have to be to the phone or whatever. I think we're going to meet in a cafe and have something to eat. I might do a little sort of 5-minute piece together there, so you won't want to miss. So do hit the subscribe button so you don't miss that, me and Roger. Now, as this gets on and gets deeper and people are seeing more into it, more and more people are realising the true fundamental nature of why they want the UK to do this at the Westminster level, because obviously it's all to do with compensation. Now, if it's exoneration at UK level, it means that the compensation comes at the UK level and would come out of central funds from Westminster paying out of the UK taxman funds. If, however, it's Scotland that has to do it and it's the Scottish law that repeals it, then the money must come from the Scottish budget. And we know they haven't got a pot to piss in. And yet all of a sudden there's going to be untold millions, because there was hundreds accused, lives ruined, businesses destroyed, jailed, people being jailed left, right and centre. So the compensation will run to many, many millions. And they literally haven't got it. Also the fact that this will come out as and is becoming very widely known at the same time as they're going into an election. And again, the optics aren't good. So it's all this little coalition, if you like, of all these bad things all happening at once. And Humza Yousaf is going, oh God, we can't have this. And that's why he's trying to foist the whole thing over. Blame, compensation and deflection. Because, hey, it's the SNP. They can't admit it. They were never wrong, are they? Anyway, the legislation will quash the convictions of sub-postmasters as a result of faults with the post office IT system in England and Wales. Scotland's Lord Advocate Dorothy Bain has already said she opposes a blanket exoneration. Not because she doesn't think these people were convicted legally, you understand, but because of the money. That's why she's been told to say this, because of the compensation. She wants everyone done on their own merit, each one at a time, which is wrong. Actually, in fact, I would suggest as well that the whole compensation package doesn't come out of either Westminster or the Scottish Government. It should be Fujitsu. The people who wrote the software should be liable for every single penny. And when you look at how much money would have been earned by these people over their life, and including their time at prison, we should fine and take Fujitsu to court and fine them. I'm going to pick a number, just a random number, £5 billion, and hand that out in compensation. Obviously, a bit of tax, come back, boom, in, done, sorted. And let Fujitsu pay it. And if Fujitsu don't like paying it, bankrupt them, take them down, take them out completely. They've done this. They've got to pay. That's what the damages are. Anyway, Yousaf has previously criticised the UK government for apparently interfering in devolved areas, claiming he was greatly disappointed the bill was not UK-wide. But Scottish Conservative Shadow Justice Secretary Russell Findlay said post office victims will see right through this petty posturing from Humza Yousaf. He should know that his government's most senior law officer said that she opposes a blanket exoneration. See, this is the other thing. She doesn't want a blanket exoneration, and he's saying the UK-wide law should give a blanket exoneration. Pick one. You can't have both. Now, if she's against it, then she's against your party's policy. Fire her. You can't have a minister there who opposes your party policy. Pick one, Humza. Pick one. Do you want to keep Dorothy Bain, who opposes you, or do you want to push for the UK-wide legislation? You cannot have both. Instead of trying to pass the buck and stoke yet more constitutional grievance, he needs to get on with delivering justice for Scotland's post office victims. Miss Bain, the top legal advisor of the Scottish Government, previously raised concerns over a mass exoneration, as not all convictions were wrong. But you're going to have a hard time proving which were wrong and which weren't, and so therefore you have to deal with it on a blanket basis. In a statement to Holyrood earlier this year, she said, not every case involving Horizon evidence will be a miscarriage of justice, but you can't prove otherwise, can you? And each case must be considered carefully and with regard to the law. But both Mr Yousaf and Justice Secretary Angela Constance criticised the UK government's position on Wednesday for saying, no, it's your law, it's your problem. You prosecuted them. More than 700 sub-postmasters were prosecuted by the Post Office and handed criminal convictions between 1999 and 2015. And if you went and read back over the years, Private Eye, magazine Private Eye, were all over this. And they've been saying for years that it's clearly wrong. They sat there, and they actually had reports, and they were sitting there watching someone putting money in and doing it completely properly, and watching money just disappear on the system. And they said for years, it's software. There's a glitch in the software. I was going to say in the Matrix. Anyway, around 100 sub-postmasters in Scotland were among those convicted. So let's say £500,000 each. Bang, there you go, 50 million quid. Get the money off Fujitsu. It's not hard, is it? Anyway, he said, we've been working on the Scottish specific legislation, he said, and I've been having regular discussions with the Cabinet Secretary for Justice and Home Affairs. He said, the difficulty, of course, with Scottish specific legislation is that we'll have to wait to see if the details of UK specific legislation, not just when it's introduced, but as it gets amended through the UK parliamentary process. Why? I thought you were your own parliament. I thought you were your own people. You don't need to wait to see what Britain does. You make a point of being different from the rest of Britain at every opportunity. So go ahead and do. Or is it you don't want to be overly generous because it costs? Is that what it is? They're moaning here. You see, it says here, if we have legislation which diverges significantly, that could have an impact on compensation. Now, You are the ones who want to diverge at all bases, at all times, forever. Nothing must ever be the same as England because you keep pushing for this independence, so everything's got to be different. Except now. Except now when it's money coming out of your pockets. Now you want to see what goes on in England. Now you want England to do it. You are shady. You're just shady, aren't you? You're just a crook. Just a shady little man. Little in all respects. There's nothing to you. Grow up or leave politics. Coming up. It's that sheer, constant, two-faced hypocrisy all the time. Oh, we want to be different. We want to be different. We want to be different. Oh, we want you to do it. Okay, we'll do it the same, but we're going to have to be the same in case it costs us more. But I thought you liked being different at everything. Yes, but not when it's going to cost us. You know, they just make you want to boke, don't they? Anyway, I shall stop there. Thank you very much for watching. Do please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. I'll speak to you later. Bye.